Okay, so if you have a little pop-up, might come up just letting you know it's being recorded, but we're only going to be keeping the active speaker view for this one, so you might just want to pop that out of the way if it's popped up on your phone or your laptop. Okay. Lovely, so with that, we will get started in child's pose, please. So come into the back of the mat, just to settle into today's session. Take the knees out wide, let the big toes touch, seat bones back on the heels. Inhale to lengthen through the spine, roll the shoulders back and down, a couple of rolls here. Getting rid of any tightness just before you lower down. And then on your next exhale, just bring the chest, the forehead to the mat, lowering down, stretching the arms out in front of you. And just let the head rest, maybe on your hands, maybe on the mat, whichever's more comfortable for you. If the arms are extended, keep a slight bend in the elbow, let the shoulders relax away from the ears. And just settle into a comfortable breath here before we move into any other postures. And yoga is predominantly a breath practice. We're using breath control to help move our bodies, really important for us. Really helpful in all aspects of life. So if we can take a nasal breath, just breathing in and out through the nose at a comfortable pace for you, then great. If not, if the nasal breath's not there for you today, just breathe in and out, or in through the nose, out through the mouth is fine. And feel the belly expand in between the thighs. Just notice any areas of tension in the body before we start. You might want to have a little wiggle into the hips, into the shoulders, stretching the arms out in front of you. If you need to rest at any point, just come back into child's pose. And now on your next inhale, rock the body forward to come onto all fours. We're coming into cat-cow to warm up the spine and the shoulders. Take the wrists below the shoulders, the knees below the hips. Tops of the feet are flat out in front of you. And as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, tailbone up to the ceiling. And exhale, round down, chin to chest, and tuck the tailbone under, arching the back like an angry cat. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, look up. And exhale, round down, chin to chest, tuck the tailbone under. Feel the stretch across the upper back as you round down. Inhaling, just moving with your own breath now. So inhale to look up. And exhale, whenever you're ready, round down, rounding through the shoulders, the back. Pressing away, pressing the hands and feet into the mat. Inhale to look up. And exhale to round down. Then coming to a neutral spine, we're going to come into our first downward facing dog. Take the hands just a pace in front, tuck the toes under, and then push up. Inhale, lift the hips and push up to downward dog. So starting first to warm up the hamstrings, gently lowering and lifting one heel at a time, pushing away with the hands, keeping the neck long, shoulders away from the ears and hips reaching up to the ceiling. Take a big bend in the knees, and then on your next exhale, press both hips away, straightening both legs. Pressing the heels down into the mat. If you can feel your spine rounding, then keep a slight bend in the knees. Inhale, look forward, walk towards the front of your mat so that your feet meet your hands. Keep your feet hip width distance apart, head down, coming into ragdoll. Take a grip of opposite elbow. Slightly bend the knees to keep some protection there to the lower back, and then just gently sway from side to side. Swaying through the hips, releasing tension in the back, and then come to stillness and take a couple of shakes and nods with the head just gently, opening up the vessels on the side of the neck. Release the hands to the mat, and then slowly round up, keeping the chin tucked to the chest, head comes up last. Roll the shoulders, coming into our first mountain pose. So just stand with feet together, rolling the shoulders back and down. Really strong posture. This is our reset posture for our standing poses. So now coming into half moon, we did this one last week, I think for the first time in this session. So inhale, remember, lift the arms overhead, press the palms, interlace the fingers and release the index finger. So you've got sort of a steeple grip, this one's called. Keeping those arms up ahead and then reaching over to the right hand side. So your hips are going out to the left. Keep the hip points pressed forward. Using the right arm to pull the left arm over. Keep breathing. A little bit more. And change back up to center. Keep the arms up overhead, shoulders down. Reseal the palms with a tight grip. Then inhale and reach over now to the left hand side, hips going out to the right. Use the left arm to pull the right arm over, feeling the stretch down the right side body. A little bit more. And change back through center. Lovely. Keep those arms overhead, it's working the shoulders. And now we're going to come into a standing back bend. Any issues with the back, just stay here at the top with your tight grip of the palms, looking up, focusing on length, reaching through the crown of the head to the ceiling. Otherwise, we can start to go backwards. So the feet are together, knees are touching, ankles are touching. And then inhale, lift up out of the waist, and exhale, start to go back. Tracing a line with your eye gaze, with your fingers over the ceiling, your biceps are by your ears. Reaching back a bit further, keep breathing. And change. Come up to center. Neutral spine. Exhale, release the arms back down by your side. Now coming into our first chair pose. We're going to do this one twice. It's also called awkward. So you may have heard it called that, but we're going to go with chair for this evening. So take the feet to hip width distance apart, so a slight gap between the feet. Inhale, raise the arms up in line with the shoulders. Fingertips are together, pointing forwards. Neutral spine, tailbone tucked slightly under. Couple of options here. As you inhale, you're lifting the heels to come onto the tiptoes. This is a slight balancing posture here. You can either stay here, focusing on ankle strength, building ankle strength, finding a point to balance. And then if you want more and you found a focus point, you're up on your heels, and then you can start to slowly come down. So you're bending at the knees, sitting back into an imaginary chair. Looking forward, focusing, keep breathing, squeezing the thighs, working the thighs towards parallel. And then slowly come back up. And then heels fall flat to the floor. So drop the arms, just shake hands off. We're going to do that one more time. Again, we can inhale, lift the arms, lift the heels, and we can stay here working on the ankles. That's perfectly fine. If you want more, then inhale to breathe the belly to the spine. Find that point of focus. And then exhale, imagine you're sliding down a wall, sitting back into a chair, bending the knees, keep squeezing, working the glutes and the thighs. And then slowly come back up, slower than you want to. Lovely. And then drop the heels. Release the arms. Well done. So now we're going to come onto the floor into our first butterfly pose. So sitting with the soles of the feet touching, releasing through the hips, soles of the feet together and taking a grip on the ankles, the feet or the lower shin, and just working on sitting up tall. This is really quite hard. It's an active posture to engage the core and to sit up tall, breathing deep into the belly. And just let the hips open here. Let gravity help the hips open, let your body just adjust to the knees falling outwards to the floor, rotating through the hips. And you can use a little bit of grip if you've got the feet, the ankles, to bring the chest and the breastbone through to kind of pull and open the hips a little bit more if that's comfortable and you want to go a little bit further. Just settling back into the breath here. Awkward or chair pose is quite challenging on the cardiovascular system. We're balancing, it's hard work for the thighs. So if you found your heart rate go up, then just settling back into a comfortable breath, in and out through the nose. Okay. Now bring the knees together just gently, because we've opened up the hips. Coming into our first seated fold. So bend the knees a little or a lot, whichever's comfortable for you, whichever you need for your hamstrings. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, and exhale, hinge forward, reaching slightly beyond the toes to take a grip behind the feet, or wrapping the 2 fingers around the big toes. Inhale, lift up, lengthen through the spine, and as you exhale, push the heels away, reaching forward, pulling forward on the big toes or around the balls of the feet, pulling the chest forward, eye gaze forward, straight spine. Keep breathing, kicking the heels away, feeling that stretch down the hamstrings. With each inhale, find a little bit more length, a little bit more straightness in the spine, and as you exhale, pulling down further, a little bit deeper into the stretch. And change, release the arms. Inhale, bring the arms back up overhead. Exhale, arms back down by your side. Now doing a single leg stretch. So we're going to bend up the right leg, taking the sole of the right foot just into the centre. And the left leg out slightly, just a diagonal off the mat. This is a single leg seated stretch. So bending up the knee, bring the hips slightly over this left leg. So hips aren't completely forward, they're slightly to the side. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, take them to the ball of the foot, interlacing the fingers like a basket grip. And then put the forehead to the knee. This is a throat lock sensation you should feel. So you're sort of really tucking the chin under, forehead locked to the knee. And then as you exhale, kick that heel away, stretching through the lower back and the left leg. So keep breathing here. The feeling with your chin tucked to your chest, that throat lock sensation is massaging the thyroid gland. You should also feel a lovely stretch down the right lower back as well. And change. Release the arms back up overhead. And then when they're down by your side, just switch out the legs. We're going to do the same on the other side. So bending up the left leg now. Left sole of the foot into the centre. Bending up this right knee slightly. Inhale, arms overhead. Basket grip at the ball of the feet. Chin to chest, forehead to the knee. And then exhale and kick away. Keep breathing, lovely deep breaths into the belly. And change. Release the arms overhead. And now we're going to come in to plank. So we can cross our legs to come forward or swivel the legs out to the side. Coming up into half plank or high plank, full plank. So if you're doing half, you can keep the knees on the floor. Fingers are out wide, palms pressing into the mat. If you're in half plank, just bring the body weight forward, so the body weight over the shoulders, not like a tabletop, slightly further forward to put weight through the front body. Otherwise, we're coming up into full plank. So inhale, curl the toes under and lift the hips into a steady, strong plank. Staying here for 3 full breaths. One more. Lovely. And change. Drop the knees to the mat, just relax off there. And then we're going to do one more plank. So inhale, curl the toes, lift up. Lovely strong planks. I can see a couple. Lovely, guys. 2 more breaths. And change. Drop the knees. So take the right knee down. Extend the left leg to the side. We're coming into side plank. So right wrist is underneath right shoulder in a straight line here. Bending the right knees drop to the mat and inhale. Left leg's extended, left arm overhead, pointing up like an arrow at 12 o'clock. You can extend the bottom leg if you want to come into a full side plank. And change, come back down, swivel straight through, full plank into one more plank, and then we're going to drop down and do the same on the other side. Now dropping the left knee, left wrist and the left shoulder, extending the right leg, opening up now to my back wall. So we're on the right side. Right arm extended. And change. Bring the hands and the knees back to the mat. And we're going to come through to pigeon. So we can bring the inhale and bring the right knee forward. Right knee just to the outside of the right wrist. Left leg extended behind, just check there's no twist in the knee, the ankle. Being careful of the front knee as well. If you'd like to come down, then inhale to find length first, then exhale to come down either onto the forearms or with arms extended, forehead to the mat. Going to stay here for 3 deep breaths. Well done, everyone, really good. Okay, and then if you've extended with the chest down, just gently walk your hands back up. Inhale, tuck the left toes, extend the right leg, and then bend the left knee this time. With the right leg extended out behind you, nice and straight. Inhaling, stretching through the front, feeling it in the hip, and exhaling, coming down to the mat wherever's comfortable for you. Again, staying here for 3 deep breaths. Okay, and then slowly walk the hands back in. We're going to come into lizard now. So before we've been doing dragon, which is sort of a higher lunge, but with both knees on the floor. So coming into lizard first. Bring the right leg forward, right ankle underneath right knee. And the difference is rather than being up high, the hands are now coming to the inside of the right leg. Your left knee is bent. Top of the left foot is flat on the mat, and then the hands are pressing on one side. It's quite a deep stretch. Just be careful of the right knee, that it's not really winging out to the right hand side, not pushing too much through the hip or twisting the knee. You might be able to come to forearms here, but whatever's comfortable for you, you can stay up on the hands. Okay, and then we're going to change legs. Inhale to bring that right leg back and switch out to the left hand side. Nice. A bit deeper through the thigh, through the hip flexor as well. Then dragon. Again, just lovely deep breaths here. Checking that the left ankle's underneath the left knee. Keeping the neck long, looking ahead. Lovely. And change, take that left knee back, and we're now going to come to camel. So we're standing up on the knees are hip width distance apart, tops of the feet are flat on the mat, roll the shoulders back and down, and take the hands just to the base of the spine, top of the bum, as though you're slipping your hands into your back pockets. Again, this is a back bend, so Any issues with the back, just stay at the top, focusing on opening up the chest, the shoulders, reaching through the crown and the spine. Otherwise, inhale to lengthen, and then as you exhale, just slowly start to go back, bending backwards through the spine, using the eye gaze on the ceiling to help guide you back. Breathing deeply here, a little bit further, and change, slowly come back up, and then gently coming back down. Sometimes make us feel a little bit dizzy here, so coming back down to the knees, and now we're going to lay on our backs. So when you're ready, just swing the knees out, swing the legs out to the side, and we're going to do our supine twist, full body stretch just before we finish. So gently lowering back, you can either lay straight down or take the hands crossed over the chest, and a little bit of an ab workout. You can slowly lower yourself down here, low as you can. Lovely. And then now, first coming into our quick hug into the hips, just to work into the hip flexor. So left leg out straight and strong. Inhale and lift the right leg, both feet are flexed. Squeeze into the front of the hip, taking the right knee to the right armpit, slight diagonal. Shoulder glued to the mat. Big squeeze here, and then take the left hand to the outside of the right knee and guide that knee over to the left. Taking the right arm out to the side. You can have it extended or bent at the elbow, like a cactus arm. Make sure both shoulders are glued down. One more breath here. Lovely, and change. Guide that right knee back through centre. Extend the right leg out, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. Inhale, bring in the left leg, bending the left knee, both feet flexed. Take the right hand to the outside of the left knee and guide it over. Just gently, never pushing, pressing too hard onto the knee. Extending the left arm. Lovely twist through the spine, both shoulders are down. And change, gently come back through centre. Hugging both knees in now, slight massage through the lower back, so keeping the head on the mat. Take a grip just underneath the knees, round the forearms, big squeeze in. You can rock the lower back some little circles into the mat. Big squeeze, and then stretch out the arms, the legs, just overhead stretching, reaching forward, and to the bottom of your mat, reaching up into the bottom. And then relax the arms down by your side. Just 2 deep breaths here. Just let the ankles relax, the arms relax, the hands just flaying outwards. Maybe the ankles are just falling out to the corner edges of your mat. Couple of breaths here. Just letting the body take in the benefits of our stretch, of our yoga postures for today. And then when you're ready, bring yourself back up to seated. You can come onto the right hand side first, and then gently lower, bring your body back round to seated. Just go slowly, moving from the floor back up again. A bit too quick can sometimes make us feel dizzy. And then when you're back with me, inhale, arms overhead, big stretch up, palms back through centre, resting on the knees or keep them in prayer. Lovely, thank you so much. That finishes our practice for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you feel a little bit more stretched out, a little bit of a different sort of work for a Monday evening, but thanks for joining me this evening, and I hope to see you all next week.
Thanks, Georgie.
Thanks, Georgie. That was really good. Thank you.